Alright, hey guys, what's up? It's Biff from Fearless Mods, and it is another day and another video and more blue paint. So today what we're going to do is go ahead and clean out the garage, pressure wash the floor. A little too much trash in that last job, and so I think it's because we're just getting too much of the sanding residue that ends up on the floor, and although it's wet when you sand it, it dries on the floor and then it kicks up and becomes dust. So time to get that out of the garage so that we can get a better paint job. And then we're going to go ahead and start putting the paint booth together and getting this thing rolling. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and get these door handles off of here and the antenna, take apart the pieces that we need to paint, and bring them into the paint booth and sand them up. Okay, so the buttons that come out of there are two-piece. It took me a second to figure that out. So they're this kind where you have to get your tool up under the outer edge and pry the little button out like that so that this top piece can disengage, and then you can either pull that clear out or you can just go ahead and then get in up here and pry this out. So those come out pretty easily. There's one silver nut up in here. Didn't take much to loosen it. Just fell off of my hand. Appears to be mostly loose now. There we go. Just got to get these connections undone. So there's that nut. Two wire connections over here. Okay. There's one. And there's two. All right. So there's four little tabs in here. I'm just gonna stick my tool in here and then pry these down in the, there we go, it pops pretty easy. Okay, there we go. So the one bolt and the four tabs take care of that, and then we'll be able to just close this up and tape, sand and tape and paint around it. And we're on to the door handles. Looks like it's a T30. We do have to take these off to drop this out, and that's how you access that other T30 bolt. Now this will drop down, revealing the T30 Torx head up in there. Carefully get in there to it. Torx head came out from right there. It's kind of dark in there. And then there's the yellow clip that you just kind of bring forward on the door handle to unlatch it. And now that it's unlatched, you just pull it out and back and it comes out. So we'll get our seals off of there so we can paint around all that. So we're good to go there. Put these on the painting table, and then I'm going to reinstall this so that I can latch it. So on the front ones here, you got this nice little cover that when we remove it off of our pretty new paint job, it exposes another T30. So that comes right out like that. There's a little gasket there. And then there's a yellow tab that I can't get to because of the window. Drop the window down like that. There's a little yellow tab here, upper and lower. So I just pull over to the left. Now that's clear, but I should be able to just pull this out now. Yeah, there we go. Two rubber gaskets. So that's how the front handle will come out. Okay, we have got all the pieces parts. So it's gonna be time to go ahead and get the paint booth put together and get in here and start sanding, and then it's on to paint. Should be an easier night than normal, but nothing goes quick. I know that much. We've got the front bumper that I've got to sand over here and get rid of this, and then There's actually a couple spots where the sealer are dripped as well, so this gives me an opportunity to hit those. So I hit this spot with a little sandpaper, and here, this is what will take some time because there will be an extra gun cleaning. But some of the sealer here, and then here's the filler cap, the antenna, and the 4 door handles. I'll hang them up so that I can get a good spray around them. The only thing I would have to tape is I'll put some tape over the connectors so I don't get them all painted. But would be this, and I think I can just pop this cap off of here so that I don't even need to worry about taping it. I'm gonna go ahead and wet the floor again and start putting the paint booths together. I'll try to give you a view of it from outside tonight, though it is getting dark. Now we're ready to start evacuating the chamber's air. There we go. We're letting this stuff dry out and gonna see if we missed any spots. And then we'll go ahead and start getting ready to hang some of this stuff up so that it can be sprayed from all sides. The plan is to tape these down after I degrease them. They'll be good to go. Wax and grease remover time, and then we're mixing some sealer. It's going quick tonight. I'm going to do some tack cloth, the adhesion promoter, and then start with the sealer. I just wet the floor down again, and we are ready to go with our sealer.
I'm only doing the bumper, so 4 ounces of sealer and 1 ounce of activator. 1 times 4 is 4, that's 1/4. Mix it up. And then we'll put it down. We'll check my air pressure. All right, we're ready for the sealer. We're ready to go. I'm going to do 10 and 10. I'm going to do 20 ounces. I should be able to do all 3 coats with this. Let's rock and roll. First coat's down, it's looking beautiful. Give it a couple more minutes and then we'll go with 2. Oh, shit. Seriously, come on. Why are you gonna do that to me? So I'm not 100% sure what to do here. I'm having a reaction in the paint. Overall, really good, but I noticed this one little spot right here and I thought, you know what, I can live with that. But then I looked past it and saw that. I don't know what the hell is causing that. I don't like it. And it seems to be, there might be remnants up down in the base of that, but I don't care. Everywhere else looks good. So I'm sure the right answer is to, once again, set it aside and sand it and go at it again later. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Here's a thought. What if I go ahead and paint the 3 base coats on it? What do I do? Do I just put it on the car and paint it with the rest of the car after it's had time to dry, and I can sand that, prep it again, and then shoot it with the rest of the car? That way I don't lose the progress I've done by the sealer and the base coat. Problem is, I may have to wait too long to coat it again. I gotta look at the literature. Okay, I checked the literature and here's the answer. It can be recoated on itself within 24 hours. So I'm good to go go ahead and continue on and just not clear coat it. Actually, I don't think I'll put any more coats on it. I think I'm going to try to get it in the house. I'm putting 3 coats on it. I'm going to do it. I'm just not going to clear coat it. All right, that's 2 coats. Depending on how much the grill covers that, I might just go with it. So while this is setting, I'm going to run inside real quick and look and just remind myself how far that grill sets back in there before I decide if I'm going to go ahead and clear it with the rest of the stuff. Okay, so here's a couple of things I discovered there. It's the answer I want, and the answer is I'm going to go ahead and press. I'm going to put the 3rd base coat on it, and I'm going to go ahead and clear coat it. And it has to do with clear coat repairs, or base coat repairs after you've clear coated, and tricks to keep those from reacting. It does show up. It's in a very noticeable area right there at the edge of the grill, and so and the grill is recessed far enough that it still shows up. So I will run to repair it, but I don't want to lose the progress I'm making tonight on this, so I'm going to press on, and then we'll see how the repair goes down the road. Here goes number 3. Guys, clear coating. Second coat of clear. Coming up. Alright, I'm out of clear. I'm misting some parts, but it was the front bumper. I know I misted an area. But that's okay, because that one's going to be revisited later anyways, at least with a wet sanding. But for now, we are done with all of these parts. All that remains is the outer body. So I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to call it a night, and we'll come back at it tomorrow.
All right, guys, new day, and I've taken everything inside and placed it around the house. It all looks, for the most part, pretty good. Get a rundown later. But today's the day that we start sanding on the car and prepping. And it's noon already. If I pull a late nighter, 3 a.m. again, there's a chance that this thing could be blue by the end of the night. So first thing I'll do before I start sanding is tape some plastic up into these windows and the exterior of the car so that I'm not dripping the sanding and residue and all that into the car. One of the things that both the guys at Finish Masters and the spec sheet for the paint said was use 400 grit sandpaper, and I've been using 600 on everything based on what I've seen with Goon Squad and things like that. I've seen them use 400 as well, but because the paint calls for it, I'm going to go ahead and go to 400 grit for the exterior, make sure we get a good scuffed up surface for the paint to bond to. Help. You don't know, gosh, it just feels so good to have somebody here helping. That's what wet sanding looks like. I'm not too worried about you stealing my fingerprints because they're mostly gone. All right, I think we are wet sanded. All right, guys, we started at noon, so went till about 4:30, and then so that's about 4.5 hours of sanding, and then went and took a quick little break. Chandler's over there doing some sanding to get any of the last spots now that it's dried out. Once we're done with that, we'll roll it out and we'll wash it off and we'll clean out the garage. But I got a little bit of body work I got to do. There's a couple of scratches on here that I want to get. There's one I want to fill. There's a door ding down here that I want to get. What's left of the ripple area right here, you can see where it didn't quite get sanded because it's rippled. Once we get Chandler gets the final sanding done there and I get the body fill done, we will roll it out, wash it off, commence taping and setting up to get ready for paint. This is so much better than the stuff I used before. So we're going to go ahead and fill the couple areas that we have. I think some of that light stuff blew back up in there. That stuff sets fast. It set up fast, and I wasted that much. That's the way I wanted to do the other one. Just smear it in, get it down in there and call it good. All right, dude, have a good night.
Yep,
Thanks again. All of the body work and sanding is done. What I'm gonna do now is wash it up, clean out the garage, roll it back in, set up the paint booth, and start taping. This could be the last time this car sees daylight in multiple colors. Slight change of plans. Even though I had Chandler helping me today, I'm freaking beat. So, car's washed and sanded, and the body work is done. It's looking good. I'm gonna get it taped and prepped tonight, and then that way tomorrow morning all I gotta do is put the booth together and spray down a coat before it starts to heat up and pull hot air out of the attic. So that's the plan tonight. Here we go with the taping and prepping. So we're foam taped in here pretty well. Looks like I gotta fix a gap right there just a little bit. It is taped and ready to go. The only thing I gotta do is get around the windows. I was kind of waiting for the rubber around the front windshield to dry up a little bit because I couldn't get the tape to stick in there the way I wanted it to. So I just got to get a strip of tape around the top of the window. I will leave it up here so I don't forget. But other than that, it is ready to go. The side skirts are behind the rocker panels there. I'm not going to worry about them getting overspray on them, but the fender extensions that I painted up, I do want to keep those nice if I can. I will also have to get my foam in the hood. I'll have to reposition the foam in the hood. It keeps coming untacked and dropping down in there. I'll check all the foam in the morning to make sure it's all good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and call that a wrap for this episode. A lot of good work done today. Painting last night of the pieces parts, as well as getting the sanding and the taping prep all done. By the end of the next episode, this entire car should be blue, I assure you, because there's not anything left to do except for that. Appreciate you all for staying with us through this final push to get the STI back to factory. Better than the factory because we're doing a color change. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe. Tell your friends, and we will see you again real soon. Take care.